Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today, I figured I would give you a bit of a homestead update and kind of just show you everything that we have going on, because there's just so much and so many projects going on. It's really hard to bring the camera along and show you guys what's like more specific, so I figured I'd kind of just show you the different projects that we have going on today. So, one of the things that we're going to be working on is hopefully finishing up this cattle panel greenhouse. We started it last week and we've kind of just made slow progress here and there when we're actually able to get to it. And it's just 8 feet wide, or 8 feet long, and then 7 feet wide. And we're super stoked to have this because we have a bunch of starts in the house that I'm going to show you in a little bit, because that's part of the progress on the homestead. So I'm going to show you those, but they're just getting huge and we need to get them out of the house. And they're a bunch of tomatoes, and I just planted a bunch of the cold weather crops like the cabbages and kales and things like that. So we need to get those out of the house, and they're not quite ready to go in the ground, so they're going in the greenhouse. And then another thing that we're working on, 8 different raised beds. I made them all out of pallets. I didn't spend anything on it except for the screws. And if you want to check out that video, go ahead and check that one out. So now what we have to do is actually get them positioned. And the thing that's kind of stopping us, I don't know if you can tell because I'm probably not holding the camera straight, but these are at a bit of an angle. And I want to see about what it would take to actually get them to lay flat, just for water storage purposes. And I want to make sure, that this side of the bed doesn't get more water and more growth than this side of the bed. So, if it's too much work, I'm not going to bother, but if it can happen, I'm going to make it work. Another thing is, recently we had 20 meat birds, and we put them out in a tractor, and a few days after we put them out in the tractor, they got completely decimated by something. We believe it was like neighborhood dogs or something like that, but it completely wiped out this chicken tractor here. And then you can see, that's still the remnants of the tarp. They had completely wrecked it and destroyed it. And, I would consider it to be our fault, kind of, because, we are new to this, so we don't really know what we're doing. But we did not do a great job of locking it and making sure that the latch was secure enough that something couldn't get in there. So we are revisiting that today. We got the tarp on there, and I have a bunch of egg layers. I think I want to say they're 5 weeks. They might even be 6 weeks old. They're pretty old, and they have what do you call it? They have all the feathers on their necks, and they're just good. All the signs point to they're good to go outside. So we're gonna give it a try. It's starting to warm up. We have a couple of cold nights coming up, but nothing below freezing. And for the most part, the trend is warming. It is currently beginning to mid of April, something like that. So it's definitely time to get them out. And they're just outgrowing their brooder inside. And I have other meat birds that are growing, or other birds that are growing up that need to take their place in the brooder. So we need to get the lock onto this thing and get this thing all set up and ready to actually go put birds in there. Yeah. On to the next thing. You can see over here we're not going to do a whole lot with this, but I kind of just wanted to update you on this. Let's find a good spot where I can actually show you this. There's not a whole lot going on under here. I've discovered that we don't have a lawn. We have like a spongy mass of moss. That's it. So you can see, the cardboard is breaking down. You can see it in here. And there's just a bunch of sprouts looking things and moss. So that's kind of the update on that. And at some point, this is going to happen. One of two things here. Most likely, this is going to be part of, along with, try not to spin you too fast here, along with this here, where you're just going to continue this line right here, going all the way down to our property edge. Let's see, yeah. Going all the way down to our property edge, and this is all going to be larger crops. This is a very large, if you take into account all the way down there and all the way up here, you're looking at probably at least I want to guess, but I don't want to over guess. I'd say about 150-foot stretch long and probably about 20 feet wide in some areas, because it does, as it goes down the hill, it widens. So that is all going to be like a bunch of like cabbages and probably maybe our zucchinis and things like that. Just the big plant items, a lot of the winter squash, melons, what else? Just all those sorts of things. Just the bigger things that I don't want to take up my raised beds, because the tomatoes are going to be the main event in these raised beds. Absolutely, beyond any shadow of a doubt. You can see them right there growing. I'm going to show you those in a little bit. But those are the tomatoes. Those are the main event around here. And a while back, I feel like this thing is wobbling. I'm sorry if it's making weird noises. But a while back we ordered this. This is this and the pile over here. Let's check this out, shall we? So we got this one here, along with this one here. Try not to get my kids' license plate numbers. Along with this one here, 24 yards of a mixture of half compost and half of like a three-way topsoil or three-way soil. So we mixed half and half, and that's what's going to be filling the beds on top of the wood for a hugelkultur style raised bed. That one's coming too, but not today. I might try and if we get them positioned, I might try and actually fill them up tomorrow. At least the wood. It's going to take forever. We got to harvest it out of here. We don't have it ready yet. We have a bunch of wood right here that Robert has been working his fanny off on, trying to get it cut up and kind of get it condensed, because it was just sprawled everywhere. And he's done an awesome job of getting that cut up and getting it put away or stacked up. Okay, so next thing, let's go inside and check out all these starts. There's so many starts. Okay, so if you missed that video, I planted a bunch of cold weather crops, a bunch of cabbages and kales and what else? Just a bunch of cabbages and kales and all kinds of other sorts of things. And so I wanted to show you kind of the progress. Some of them, as you can see, it's only been a few days, but some of them, you can see here, are starting to sprout. This one's doing great. Which one is it? The Napa cabbage. That one is very viable. That's an M.A. Gardner one. And this one's doing pretty okay. Drumhead Savoy. I think that's an older one that I had. So a lot of these ones are older seeds. They're like, I think the oldest one was 2015. So they're pretty, a lot of them are pretty old, and I'd say about half of them are pretty old and half of them are pretty new. I just planted. See what I get. I have a bunch of chickens that I need to feed throughout the summer, and I'm hoping to be able to supplement a great amount of their feed through the garden. Okay, so the next thing that we have going on today, which is going to be a huge priority as soon as it comes in the mail, is repotting our tomato seeds. Some of them are doing fine, some of them are really struggling because they need a bigger pot, and they're just gargantuan. I mean, look at these things. They're huge. They're bigger than the pot, and there's 2 of them in there. We just don't have the pots to actually repot them in. We're waiting on them. They're supposed to come in the mail today. We're in the middle of this toilet paper crisis, and so, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. We don't have Prime, so, big deal. But, so, we're just waiting on those. They're supposed to arrive today. Amazon says it's out for delivery. Cross our fingers they come today because we need them so much. The only larger pots that we have are 60 of these, and these ones are fantastic. I wanted to reorder these kind of pots, but they didn't have them anymore. Unfortunately, I went to go and rebuy them and they didn't have them. So we just bought hopefully they'll be almost as strong. I don't think they're going to be as good as those ones. These ones are Bootstrap Farmer quality. Like, they are really strong. So we're going to repot these. Hopefully today, if they arrive, we're going to repot all of the tomatoes, and then we're going to repot the peppers as well. And the peppers don't need it as much as the tomatoes do. That's not a tomato. As much as the tomatoes do, but I want to be able to sell the plant starts, hopefully to help fund some of the madness that we have going on around here. Hoping to hoping to sell our starts. At least the ones that we don't use. So I want to repot them so that they're in good condition. by the time I'm ready to resell them. The next thing, and I think the last thing that we have possibly going on today, is out here in this little shed. I'm going to show you. They're so cute. Okay. So we got these gals here. These are the ones that need to go outside. You can see they're big. And they are ready to go out. Okay. So there's 26 of these. And then we have all these little guys. They're so cute. Uh-oh. Oh no. I think we have a casualty. I think that's a dominant copper. That thing's like a week old. I'm surprised. I don't know what's going on with that guy. And we also have this batch. Okay. These ones are olive eggers, Easter eggers, lavender orpingtons, and blue lace red Wyandottes. And there is one that passed away right there. I knew that that was going to happen last night. I was in here for a solid hour trying to kind of nurse it back to health and trying to get it to drink anything or eat anything, and it just wouldn't. So I just put it next to his buddies underneath the heat lamp, made sure it has as much water as it would drink, and unfortunately had to let nature take its course. I had a feeling that one would happen this morning, but yeah. So unfortunately it looks like we might have lost two chickies. One expected, one not expected. That other one was like a week old. I don't know what happened to that one. I don't have a clue. But we're going to get that out of the cage. So anyways, in here we have, there's Color Pack, Americana, Dominant Copper, Moran, Starlight Green Egger, and Sapphire, a Blue Sapphire. So all together I think I have 92. You're crazy chicken lady. 92 different chicks. And I'm definitely going to be selling pullets with these ones. I got some extras so that I could hopefully again just be able to sell some of them as pullets to people who don't want to brood their own chicks and want to have a nice collection of exotic type of birds. So, and then also in here we have Isa Brown, Black Astrolorps, Barred Rock, Gold Lace Wyandottes. Yeah, so those are all the varieties of the chickens that we have, and there are a few more coming. We got meat birds that are coming on Thursday, and then more meat birds are coming a couple weeks after that, and more meat birds are coming a couple weeks after that. We're doing all the varieties. We're doing Cornish Cross, Red Ranger, and Freedom Ranger. We're going to do a comparison between all three of them. They're not coming at the same time, but I'm going to try and do a compilation of them and try and do a comparison and contrast food consumption versus the time versus the taste, all those sorts of things. So if you are interested in that and you don't know what you want to raise, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and maybe you guys will benefit from that. So we are going to go ahead and get started on all of our projects for the day. I just wanted to kind of show you what we got going on here. We got the chicken tractor all set up. We got a couple of roosts in there, and then hanging up the water, and we have it positioned where we want it to be. Well, now we have a position where we want it to be. And we got a few of the chicks caught over here, and so now we're just going to put them in here and they can have their freedom outside. Alright, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get this to come through. You can see they're all just kind of chilling, being chickens. And this is not working, obviously. This is a temporary solution. they keep walking in it. But I'm going to build a trough for them, and I will show you that in a video coming up very soon. So we got so it is the IntelliShock 60. We got it all set up, all hooked up. We got the net all set up. And for this net, I mean, each of these spots is going to be probably 2 days, depending. I'm just going to let them completely destroy the ground and then move them to the next spot. And then probably in about a week or so, I might let them out like during the day while I'm here, maybe on my next weekend or something like that. But I want to make sure that they know that that's their home, at least for now, until I get them an actual coop built. So that's where we're at right now. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye.